5-3-2 formation, and right in the middle of that is Mayola Kinyua. Coach Briz told us that they go as Mayola goes. It's his 60th career game tonight, had an assist last week against Clemson. And for the Pittsburgh Panthers on the other side, and Jay Vidovich sends out a 4-3-3, his usual formation. Filip Mirkovic, Mac Herman preseason watch list, brings 7 assists into this match. That's 5th in Division I, tied for the first in the conference. And his next assist will break a Pitt all-time assist record. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. Getting ready to go at Ambrose Urbanic Field. What you could say is a must-win for both sides. Just 2 points between them. And every match in the ACC is a tough one, David. We know that week in and week out. You almost get tired saying it, but it's the truth, and both coaches told us the same thing.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't get tired of saying it, and I don't get tired of watching it, so I'm here for all of it, Kevin.
Fair enough.
And we have...
Well, you have to be for at least the next 90 minutes.
That's right. Pitt in all white, playing from right to left. Virginia Tech Hokies in all black, playing from left to right.
Pitt on a run already. Abdoulaye Touré in the box. He's whistled offside. Already a quick start offensively for Pitt, trying to release Touré on the right, who didn't start in the last game, had been dealing with a little bit of an injury thing, but he had 39 minutes off the bench against Carolina.
Yeah, and we've seen him mostly in a left wing position for Pitt, so it's interesting that he's starting out on the right-hand side tonight, and there's a few tactical changes for this Pitt team from last week's showing against North Carolina, and so we'll see who's able to produce tonight.
Same lineup for Virginia Tech as they had a week ago against Clemson. What a heartbreaking loss that was. We saw it at the top of our open, of course, but man, what a weird way for a college soccer game to end.
Yeah, that one's going to sit with you for a while, and it'll be interesting to see what Virginia Tech's response is tonight, because they've had 7 nights to sleep on that result, and I'm sure it hasn't sat well. So they'll be looking to sort of set the record straight, get back to winning ways, but really tough loss down at Clemson, losing 2-1 with 5 seconds left.
The shot went off the face of Theo Drennan. We checked on him with Coach Briz. He said that Theo is okay. Recovered well from that, both mentally and physically. Here come the Hokies into the attacking third for the first time. Declan Quill with it. Back center, there is Mayola Kinyua. Split very wide. And this is a unique type of formation in this 5-3-2, David, that Virginia Tech runs. And they just want to put those wingers as wide and hold those boundary lines as much as they can. Loose in the box here, stopped there. And cleared out by Mirkovic. Dangerous chance up top for the Hokies right away.
And a couple moments of sloppy defending for Pitt at the back, and they'll need to extinguish that type of play. We've said it 1,000 times, but mistakes tend to get punished, and so they were lucky to get away with those mistakes there.
There's Noe Uimana. Just kicks it down the pitch for his partner in crime, Oliver Roche.
Virginia Tech will be looking to get in behind all day long. See if they can use their speed up top to expose the Panthers and get on the score sheet.
Yeah, Pitt doing what they do. They will try to possess as much as possible, and they are dangerous on this field, David. It's no secret. Last week, scoreless against North Carolina. That snapped a 21-game scoring streak at home. And North Carolina defended so well in that match. And of course, Pitt had a few chances. Guilherme Feitosa hit the post twice. Chances to win it, but that's the ACC for you. Sometimes you just don't get that result you want.
Yeah, certainly unusual for Pitt to get shut out at home. It hadn't happened since November 10th of 2021 against Notre Dame in the ACC tournament semi-final. So, you know, that was a significant scoring streak at home.
Here's Roche offside.
But streaks are made to be broken.
There's Jay Vidovich. Storied career already at Pitt with a couple of College Cup appearances in his last 3 seasons. Never good enough for him, though. Hasn't reached that title game with Pitt. Won a championship with Wake Forest back in 2007.
And over his career, Coach Vidovich has certainly enjoyed playing against Virginia Tech. A really nice record there, 19-5-1 all-time against them as a coach.
Here's Touré with some space. Stopped in the center. Sam Cow trying to collect himself. He can't do it. Vesterholm gets rid of it. So they found Torrey a couple times up top already, David.
Yeah, and that's going to be worrying for Virginia Tech because you don't want to give Torrey space to run into and work. You don't want to allow him the time to pick out Louis Samkow up top. And probably the best way to keep Noe Uemana quiet tonight is by running at him and attacking him, and that's probably part of what Touré's responsibility is going to be, is to keep Uemana honest, keep him back in position from a defensive standpoint, not let him get up in the attack and help provide service for the Hokies.
Here's Filip Mirkovic, 26 career assists at Pitt. Ties a record that has stood in the program since 1994. They love him in these situations. The Hokies will have to mark Samkow in the box here. Samkow with 6 goals on the year. This one flicked on and over. Looks like that was Jackson Gilman jumping up for it.
Mirkovic is able to provide the service with the cross. Gilman doesn't get a clean header on it. Doesn't challenge the goalkeeper, and so Virginia Tech will be able to get the goal kick and restart.
What a turnaround, David, for this Virginia Tech team. The first 2 games of the year, they give up 9 goals. They just get walloped, really. And Coach Mike Brizendine, from that point on, decides, okay, Connor Jordan Hyde, our starting goalkeeper, redshirt senior, you're going to come out, and we're going to put Timmy Adams in between the posts. And it seems like the Hokies have responded better to the way that Timmy Adams runs things from the back, at least defensively moving forward up the pitch.
Yeah, obviously it's complicated over the course of a season, but, you know, really distinctive change in their fortunes this season. As you mentioned, the first 2 games were a disaster, but they were able to shake it off, change some personnel, get better at defending in front, but also, yes, the goalkeeper position. Timmy Adams has come in, he's gotten better and better. They've been very impressed with his improvement in his footwork. He's a results-driven guy, and the team is confident in him, and I think that that is probably the most overriding factor in him starting all these games, is that the team is comfortable with him between the pipes.
Hard foul on the near side here. That is Felipe Mercado. Transferred into the program this season from the College of Charleston in Division II. Just hard collision there, Grant Howard.
Looked as much as anything about how Mercado came down on that arm.
Sure.
Rather than the contact from the
And Grant Howard's going to get a booking for that. Yellow card to Grant Howard, number 14 in black. Mercado's been a nice story for Jay Vidovich and the Panthers this year. Played in all 10 games, 8 starts, and 7 straight for him. He's found himself a home next to Filip Mirkovic in that formation.
A little bit late in the challenge.
So Howard gets the yellow, and Mercado finally gets to his feet.
You don't think of arms and shoulders as being very important for soccer players, but it's a tough injury for a soccer player. If there's something wrong with your shoulder, it can really jam you up, and so you want to make sure that Mercado's okay and able to continue. Grant Howard's going to have to be a little bit more careful for the next 84 minutes as the rest of this game plays out, and so playing on a yellow's never really a fun thing for a defender, especially against a team like Pitt.
Mercado was flexing that left shoulder of his, so we'll keep an eye on it as we continue. You know, back to what we were saying about Coach Brizendine and, you know, making the change with Timmy Adams in the net. Brizendine told us that, hey, we just got more comfortable in our own skin over the last 7 games or so, and, you know, Timmy Adams has something to do with that, but there are some new players on this team. Some have started a little bit more hot and have tailed off, but it doesn't matter. As a unit, they're scoring more and they're allowing less goals, which usually means something good's going to happen.
Yeah, and Timmy Adams isn't a freshman. He's been here a couple years. He was Ben Martino's backup for that time, so he's been continuing to improve and work out. Doesn't necessarily look like a Timmy to me, but, you know, we'll go with it. Probably wasn't 6'7" when his parents named him.
That's right. Yeah, 6'7" back there.
At 6'7", I will call you whatever you want, sir. But he'll have his hands full with this Pitt offense tonight. They definitely generate goal-scoring opportunities, shots, and so he'll need to be ready, and he's going to be tested.
Sat for 2 years behind Ben Martino, who has moved on to the MLS. Martino was a stalwart for the Hokie program while he was there. Pittsburgh native himself.
That's right, he's a Yinzer. Got drafted by Nashville, so he's doing well for himself.
Here's Timmy up off his line to reset things. So Virginia Tech with 7 points in the Coastal Division. That's good for second. Pitt at the bottom, and they were picked to win the Coastal Division for the 3rd straight season. Just 5 points this year, and really it's about the 2 draws more so than anything else, and they were so close in both of those situations, and that's what swings everything in these ACC standings. If you can't get 3 points, things change for you.
Yeah, the points are just so critical, and the difference between 3 points for a win and 1 for a tie, well, you can see after a couple results like that what it does to your overall standings. And so obviously finding a way to get the results is just critical. And for Pitt, you know, they're going to want to get out of the cellar of the ACC Coastal and start to impose their will on some of these ACC teams that they're playing against. They have struggled a little bit in the sense of not being able to follow up on the performance that they beat Wake Forest with, and they struggled with a 0-0 draw up at Boston College and a tough 3-2 loss at Syracuse, and last week again another 0-0 draw against UNC. So they've really kind of struggled to find their form in ACC play.
It's a little bit tighter in the Coastal than it is in the Atlantic, where from 2 through 5 only 2 points separate you, and between Virginia Tech and Pitt is North Carolina, Duke, and Virginia, a number of which either of these teams will play in the last few games of the ACC season. So a lot to play for, and especially tonight at Ambrose Urbanic Field. This ball is called down offside.
The good news with all that, Kevin, is that again you get 3 points for a win. So 1 win, you know, for Pitt tonight, and they're right back in the mix of it. And for Virginia Tech, if they can get the 3 points tonight, well, they're really going to be booming.
Loose in the box, and there's Adams. Thorson was sniffing around the net.
Coach Vidovic will definitely be looking for Pitt to have positive actions in the final third, be able to capitalize on their possession.
There's Cabral Carter coming way up off his line there. Oliver Roche had a run for sure in behind, but Carter sniffed it out.
And that's something Carter does very well, is get up high out of his box and cut out a lot of those long balls over the top.
Noe Uimana and Mayola Kinyua combining. The captain, Kinyua, makes his team go, gives up possession here to Abdoulaye Touré on a run. Feitosa and Sam Cow combining. Pitt a little bit disjointed as they approach the attacking third. A left-footed try, no good for Touré. Just slipped as he hit that one, it looked like.
It was interesting build-up from the back to the front there. Initially, Touré was getting yelled at by Mirkovic for being out of position on his defensive responsibilities, but then he was able to make the stop and get play going the other way. Started that play and tried to finish it, couldn't convert on his left foot.
A couple of goals for Touré in his first collegiate season. Classifies as a junior.
I think he's been the brightest player for Pitt offensively so far today as well.
Sure. 6 starts for him. Mentioned he had some injury issues. Had a goal against Syracuse and a tough loss up there. And then didn't play against Denver in a midweek game last week. Hamstring issue. And then last week finally got himself some burn against North Carolina.
Yeah, he's been battling the injuries, and I think for some of the players that come over from Europe that are used to sort of traditional European models, having 2 or 3 games in a week, it takes you, it's a bit of a shock to the system. And so I would imagine that Touré's, you know, sort of struggled a bit with the number of games he's been playing or expected to play.
Touré hailing from France. This ball crossed the end line for a Pitt corner kick. Oh, excuse me, it's going to be a goal kick here. Thought that went off the defender.
I think there might
going to be offside.
Yeah.
Third time's a charm. I'll get it right eventually.
Keep trying.
There's only so many things that could happen.
Teo
Teo Mayufo surely whistled for a foul there.
All over Quill's back there, so not surprised the ref called that one.
Declan Quill, the George Mason transfer.
Just slight foul.
Quill had a season-ending injury last year. So he's already matched his starts total tonight for this season that he had all of last year. Knocked forward from Feitosa, trying to find Albert Thorsen, the Norwegian. Thorsen's parents in from Norway for this one.
So now Pitt moving in the wrong direction after that positive action. You saw Feitosa with the nice through ball to Thorsen, but now they're going back the other way, and Virginia Tech will be more than happy to cede possession in Pitt's own half to them. They're going to try to disrupt things now when they get in the Virginia Tech half, but Pitt's a very patient team, happy to possess the ball, but I know that the coaching staff is really looking for them to contribute positive actions and be able to turn some of this possession into goals, goal-scoring opportunities, and really positive soccer plays in the opponent's final third.
Mercado hits the deck again. This time it was Quill contesting.
The ref played the advantage there.
Matisse Lefebvre, challenged by Roche.
And really the ref does acknowledge a foul there. He does play the advantage you see on the right side of the screen. And so the ref there is acknowledging, yes, that is a foul, but you still have the ball and you're in a good position, so we're just going to keep playing. But it speaks to really the tenacity of Virginia Tech. I saw that their bench was extremely excited about the pursuit up there of the ball and pressuring the Pitt defenders, and so that's part of their game plan, is to put pressure on Pitt when they're on the ball at certain points in time, to pick out those pressure points and try to find a weakness.
Willie Cardona deep here for Cabral Carter. Settles in his hands easily.
So you see Virginia Tech utilizing their wing backs, trying to play those diagonal balls in behind the Pitt back line. It's one of the ways they're going to look to score goals tonight.
Both these teams can find a goal in numerous places. 8 different players with a goal for Virginia Tech, 9 of them for Pitt on their roster. There's so much capable scoring out there tonight.
And Virginia Tech has not been shut out at all this season, so they've scored every single time out. Pitt has been shut out a couple times, but they're as dangerous as anyone you're going to see in college soccer.
Collision between Mayufo and Feitosa there. Feitosa owns that one. That's part of getting Feitosa back into the mix, and Jay Vidovich remarked that to us. You know, he had been out since September 5th against Marshall, missed a handful of games, finally comes back, and he said, yeah, we got to get his fitness back, but it's more about his actions and what he's doing within our formation.
Come on.
Ball centered up here for Vesterholm. Now out wide. Hensley out wide here. Uimana. Stopped by Carter, punched away. Carter had 2 game-saving saves a week ago against North Carolina. That one was hit right at him. Foul here. Sam Cow taking down Sergio Svenaritis.
Sam Cow coming back and helping out defensively, and he needed to. You know, Uimana was all alone out there on the left-hand side, and that's one of the reasons that Virginia Tech is in a positive position right now. There you see the foul. Sam Cow just a bit clumsy going through the back there. But a lot of this build-up play for Virginia Tech has happened because Uimana was able to get open down the left-hand side, and you can see Noah Hall not really sure if he should go out and pick him up. Toure not really sure if he should come back and pick him up. And so there's some indecision there on the part of the Panthers. Now you see Uimana is going to take this free kick and see what he can do with it.
The points leader for Virginia Tech, and the freshman. A strike right into the arms of Carter. Virginia Tech's dangerous. They can score goals from outside the box.
Oh yeah, and they have done a number of times this year. And this looks like just another opportunity. It's going to be a bit like a tennis match or a basketball game. Teams trading possessions, going up one end of the field, having a chance. Now Pitt will attempt to go up the other end and have their chance. But it's been pretty open to start. Pitt got a little bit stuck on the right-hand side there. They're going to try to switch the field.
Mayufo and Thorson. Thorson's played in a number of positions for Pitt this year. This time he has some space out wide. Knocked in. And Tech gains possession back.
There's some really nice combination play there by Feitosa and Thorson to sort of unlock Virginia Tech at the back. But now it's Virginia Tech's turn. Roche gets fouled. Another free kick for Virginia Tech.
Roche trying to take on 3 Pitt defenders there in the midfield. Matisse Lefebvre eventually took him down. Oliver Roche from Denmark. 3 goals this year. He had no goals in his last 3 games. Been averaging somewhere between 45 and 52 minutes in that stretch.
Yeah, I mean, I think it gets tougher to score once the book comes out on you. You know, I mean, everyone's going to know what he can do, and so that makes him more likely to be defended.
Connor Pugh, you see him coming in, and back in 2021, took quite the blow from Pitt's Arturo Ordonez. He came back in that next game. That was in the final regular season game of the year, and then about 6 or 7 days later, Pitt faced Virginia Tech again on this field in the ACC tournament, and Pugh was available for that game.
I will never forget Connor Pugh. That is one
because of that.
Yeah, it's just such a tough injury. He was so unfazed by it, you know, just blood gushing out of his head.
That's because he's an Irishman, of course.
Probably
unfazed.
True. Probably true.
Here's Torre once again released up the right side. Looking for Sam Cow. He's there, just out of his reach. The ball's still loose and cleared out. Looked like Sam Cow was trying to head that in from the ground.
That's because Grant Howard just made a tremendous play to stop him from scoring a goal here. Toure from the right-hand side gets it over. Look at Howard come in and make the slide there. I mean, Grant, I think it just got past. It was just too far away from Sam Cow, but Howard making a critical defensive play, and ultimately Sam Cow handballed it, and free kick for Virginia Tech to play out.
Sam Cow, the team's leading scorer with 6 this year. Howard already picked up a yellow card earlier in this match.
That was great defending, though, and really the best opportunity of the game for Pitt so far. Toure, again, causing problems from that right-hand side. This time he was able to provide the service, and Sam Cow must have been no more than a couple inches away from turning it in.
So a little bit more back and forth, David, in this match than it was a week ago for Pitt against North Carolina. North Carolina sat back in a little bit more. Looks like these long diagonal balls or just sends up the field, up the sideline is kind of what Tech is looking to do here in a quick counterattack situation.
Yeah, we haven't seen Pitt play against a 5-3-2 too many times this season, so the wing-back look is definitely causing Pitt some problems, allowing Virginia Tech to sort of get some mismatches and provide some of that service in behind the Pitt line that they're looking to do. But also, you know, playing a different formation, there's some spaces available on the field that Pitt hasn't seen against some of the more traditional formations that they've played this season. So it's going to be up to them to find some of these spaces on the field, work their game plan, create odd man situations, and provide service into the box.
No whistle there, and here comes Virginia Tech on another quick counter opportunity. Up ahead here for Kinyua. And he's got a breakaway, nothing in front of him, just him and Carter, and it goes past Cabral Carter. Virginia Tech goes up 1-0 at Ambrose Urbanic Field.
Really great goal for the Hokies. Pitt was looking around, wanting an offside call, but Kinyua was not offside. He made the deep run from center midfield. You see there, Quill picking him out. Diagonal ball onto the nice run. He's able to just pick his spot and slide it home. Cool as you like. And as his coach says about him, as Mayola goes, that's how Virginia Tech goes, and Mayola's just got him up 1-0, so that looks like it's going to be a good night for Virginia Tech. A little bit too easy. It was almost pedestrian.
And I was looking at the flag to see if the flag was going to go up at all. First career goal as a Hokie for Mayola Kinua. Can you believe that? His 60th career game with the Hokies, and he scores a goal. First of his career with them. Man, he just sets the tone for them in so many different ways. It's nice to see him get on the score sheet.
Yeah, he's been really good for Virginia Tech. I mean, such huge praise by his coach. As Mayola goes, that's how we go. Transferred to Virginia Tech when his program at Appalachian State shut down during COVID. And he's been a huge asset to the Hokies since he arrived.
Product of Montverde Academy as well. A good relationship with Virginia Tech. Montverde Academy.
Does all the little things well. A lot of those things go unnoticed, but he's a nice patient player. He's able to sit back with the ball. Does a lot of directing the play, dictating tempo, but there you see him on the finishing end as well, putting his team up, and that's a huge goal. We always talk about the importance of the first goal, the importance of any goal, but that's massive for Virginia Tech. And you talk about shaking off the memory of last week's tough loss, and they're doing it right now.
Third assist of the season for Declan Quill. What vision he had to split the Pitt center backs and send Kinua on a run.
And Vesterholm just got released in a similar way, and Virginia Tech almost had another chance there. And so, you know, they definitely have come to play and have found some cracks in Pitt's defending.
Mirkovic on the ground, wide left.
I think that's going to be a corner. Took a deflection off Drennan.
Here's the goal.
Diagonal ball. They've been trying to play it through all day long. And there you see it came off. Again, Pitt was looking for the offside flag. It didn't come, and Kinua slides it home. Cool as you like. We like it. Nice finish. Very calm.
So now Mirkovic and Pitt looking to equalize in the 25th minute, down 1-0. Into the box and over the crossbar.
Pitt was looking for a deflection to get another corner, but they didn't get it. Thorson was appealing. So the Panthers are down right now. The body language is a little bit disappointed, and now you see Virginia Tech making some substitutions.
Misei Yoshizawa entering here. All ACC freshman team member from a season ago, and Ethan Ballack will come in as well.
Yoshizawa is a really exciting player. He scored Tech's goal at Clemson last week. It was a beauty of a goal. Took it down on his chest and volleyed it home. So he's a dangerous player. He's going to cause Pitt more problems. Connor Pugh's going to keep running at him up top there as well. Ethan Ballack also dangerous, and so, you know, Virginia Tech is really turning the screws to Pitt right now, seeing if they can extend their lead and hit them when they're down.
That was Ballack forcing a turnover and then firing the shot. Collided with Mercado. Mercado's on the ground for the third time tonight.
He's having a rough one. He's getting beat up tonight.
So Ballack with some fresh legs comes in and makes an immediate impact.
I've heard of that guy. I've heard of that guy, Kevin.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Let's see this collision. Yeah, he took a whack from Ballack. But you see, he's getting his arm worked on again. He's not getting his leg worked on. He's getting his arm worked on. And there you see Ballack. He of 114,000 followers on TikTok.
No way.
Yep.
Wow.
I read that in the game notes.
Really?
Yep.
Have you checked out the content?
I hate to tell you this, Kevin, but I'm actually not on TikTok, so
No way.
I don't really know what at all is on TikTok.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not on it either.
I'm proud of you, young man.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be surprised if he can continue. I think he's done something significant to his left arm.
Yeah, this looks like it's kind of hanging. That's never a good sign.
So we'll see who Pitt sends on to replace him.
Jay Vidovich taking this opportunity to maybe do some teaching about some of his defensive woes for his team in this particular game. One more look at the injury. Yeah, you see it kind of, he tried to brace his fall with the left arm, and that was the shoulder he hurt earlier.
And I even think he was bracing himself as he went into the challenge based on the injury.
Yeah, it's all in the shoulder there for Mercado. So here comes Michael Sullivan. And Jay Vidovich told us yesterday when we spoke to him that Michael Sullivan in particular had a really good practice yesterday. He's proud of what he did.
Sully's hungry, you know, he got that red card at Syracuse and hasn't featured as much since then. You know, he got suspended and lost his spot for a game, and he's had trouble winning it back. So tonight, this is going to be a good opportunity for him to get valuable minutes and see if he can impact this game and show his coaches he deserves to start.
Had 26 minutes against North Carolina after, like you said, having to sit out the Denver game after getting 2 yellows against Syracuse.
You know, Raphael Silly got sent off in that Syracuse game as well, and Noah Hall has taken his starting spot. And so I think that's something that you see with Pitt, with the depth they have, is that if you're not present, if you're not available, then, you know, someone's going to take your spot and you're going to have a hard time winning it back.
And the proof comes from scoring, too. You know, they can get goals from pretty much anywhere in their bench. Great research by Michael Masicic done for us before this game, and he showed us that 14 out of Pitt's 21 goals this year been scored by players that played less than 60 minutes in the game. So it's guys coming off the bench or guys re-entering in the second half, whatever it might be, but they can surprise you. It's not always the starters that play 90 minutes.
Yeah, substitutions are massive, and across this league we see it with so much depth on these rosters. You know, the challenges keep coming. When there's substitutions, a guy might wear you down for a bit, but they replace him with another good player.
Great chance. It was Thorson looking for Torre off the side of the net.
That was a nice chance created by the Panthers.
Kenua coming up lame there. He's up on his feet already. Kenua with his first career goal tonight to put Virginia Tech up 1.
Was it really his first career goal?
His 60th career game tonight, 54th start, first career goal.
Wow, I'm stunned by that. But good for him. You know, there's nothing like scoring a goal.
In fact, David, the last 3 goals that Virginia Tech has scored against Pitt have been first career goals for the goal scorer.
Look at you.
Daniel Starr, Kyle McDowell, Mayola Kenua.
Digging up some facts.
Thanks to Will Copeland for that fact. I didn't dig it up. I can't take credit for it. I just regurgitate the material that's given to me. People think announcers are like, you know, intelligent or something. We just talk, you know. Send out information that other people find.
Come on, you're not too dumb, Kev.
We appreciate it.
You're not too dumb.
Good callback, my friend.
There we are. Dynamic duo.
Thanks for being with us tonight. Kevin Wheeler, David Day with you.
I'm impressed with how Virginia Tech's come out. They've really taken the game by the scruff of the neck and came to play. They haven't sat back and just tried to defend for 90 minutes. They're definitely trying to get the taste of the Clemson loss out of their mouth, off their psyches. And Pitt's been a little bit flat. They haven't really gelled in terms of offensive productivity. They have possessed when they've had the opportunity, but Virginia Tech's done a good job disrupting them through the midfield. Definitely a lot of energy from the Hokies, and they came to play.
I mean, it's really no surprise. It's exactly what Mike Brizendine told us they were going to do, is what we're seeing here. Torre now taken down. He had a run once again. He's had 5 or 6 of those tonight. A lot of green space in front of him.
That's a beautiful through ball, and you see Uemana's got no choice really but to foul Torre. He tries to do it as subtly as possible, but you know, that is a very calculated decision by that young man. That's a smart card, a good card potentially, because Torre looked like he was set free. I know that Drennan was coming as well, but that was a nice opportunity created by Pitt. And conceding the free kick gives your team a chance to get back, get numbers back in the box, and defend this set piece.
'29th minute here. Virginia Tech up 1-0 on the strength of a Mayola Kenua goal. Now Filip Mirkovic and Pitt trying to knot this thing up. Free kick from a dangerous position. Mirkovic with 7 assists this year, top 5 in the country. Into the box, Sam Cow on a header, and Tech clears it out easily.
Sam Cow was the target. Pitt doesn't have a ton of height up there, and so there's not a lot of aerial threats on this Pitt lineup. Sam Cow would be the most notable. I think he's 6'3", and he gets his head on a few crosses, but other than Sam Cow, not a lot of height.
Some space here for Mayufo to work with. Centered up, Sam Cow. Now Torre as Pitt switches fields. Or excuse me, that's Noah Hall. And he's taken down in the box, no whistle there.
I thought he did the hard work to get a shot off, and then he kind of hesitated on it.
Pugh on a run toward the goal. Soft hands from Carter.
But you see how we're trading chances. Pitt has a chance up one end, and within 30 seconds, or I should say 10 seconds, Virginia Tech's got a shot off at the other end with Connor Pugh. Torre, I thought that was where he was going to hit it with his left foot, but he tries to pull it back and just kind of crumples. Wants the foul, but isn't going to get it.
Like Uemana looked up and was like, oh, please don't. Don't call me for this.
Coach Vidovic talked to us about how Virginia Tech was sort of Liverpool-ish, and they could get in your box with 3 passes, you know, and we just saw an example of it there from Virginia Tech where they defended Noah Hall in their own box, and within a very, very short time they had a goal-scoring opportunity of their own up the other end. And now you see Noah Hall has a leg injury, and he's getting some medical attention.
And he did kind of buckle there as he went down. Probably just as much from that.
And that's a shame for Hall. He's been playing well with his opportunity these last 3 games. He's been doing very well down that right-hand side.
But this is exactly what Mike Brizendine said they were going to do. They weren't going to sit back as much as North Carolina did. They were going to be able to say, hey, we're going to use the wing backs, we're going to spread it wide, and here was that counterattack off the Uemana pass.
Yeah, I mean, that's one ball, and you've got a goal-scoring opportunity. Gilman and Lefebvre trying to get back. Granted, Pugh was out of energy, out of oxygen by the time he got the opportunity to shoot, so he didn't get a good shot off. But that's a very dangerous opportunity for Pitt to concede in these moments, and they're the type of opportunities that Virginia Tech's going to punish Pitt if they get many more of them.
So now Noah Hall, you mentioned, he earned his spot back after Raphael Silly took a red card against Syracuse, had to sit out 2 games. So now Noah Hall, after winning that starting job, has come up limping here, and we'll see if he's able to return. But now we're going into the bench. Felipe Mercado started the last number of games. He's out right now for Pitt. Now Noah Hall, so losing 2 starters here, and Silly will make a reappearance now for the Panthers for the first time in a few games.
And when we were talking to Coach Vidovic yesterday, he talked about how well his second unit had played at practice, and he had some really tough decisions to make for this game. And so it's interesting how the game now generates these moments where you need your depth, and you need all these players practicing well. And so he's already got a couple players from his bench on the field, and so members of that second unit are working to earn their starting spots back right now.
And I asked Jay Vidovic, you know, what is it like? Is it a luxury to have this type of depth? And he wouldn't agree with me at first, but eventually he said, yeah, I guess it maybe is a luxury to have this.
He did get it out of him.
Yeah.
Well, I think after the last few years with Pitt really played the same starting 11 every week, week in, week out.
Torre and Thorson looking to combine and cut off. Nicely done on the backside by Willie Cardona.
And I think with Pitt, they do have more numbers, more depth this season, and a few more options coming off that bench.
It was a great touch by Solons there to send Yoshizawa into the box, looking for Pugh. Still loose down there. Now back out to Solons and booted out.
Yoshizawa getting through with a burst of speed there. Here you see him again.
Leaves it for Uemana. He'll take a dance in the box himself. Taken away by Mirkovic. He was having no more of that. Now a mistouch by Torre stops a counter. Just looks like Virginia Tech is a little bit more decisive and deliberate in what they're doing in the attack than Pitt is. A little bit more hesitation on the Panthers side.
Yeah, for sure. I think Tech looks more comfortable in their game plan. They're certainly implementing it more effectively. Doing a good job of pressuring the ball, causing turnovers, counter-attacking, getting in behind the back line of Pitt. But more than anything, I just think they've done a good job of disrupting Pitt when Pitt gets in their half.
Sam Cowell somehow squeezes that ball into Torre, but it goes out.
Torre got called for offside over
yes,
there.
He did.
Don't think he liked that call.
Have you ever met a player that liked the ref's call?
Probably not. We did have one game once where my captain was able to go, he got a goal disallowed. Mount Union had scored, and my captain, Tyler Grieber, went over to the assistant referee and basically, I think, convinced him that there was an offside and got the assistant referee to give the offside. I think we still lost 3-0, but it was the only time I've ever seen a referee change their decision, and I still credit Tyler Grieber with making that happen. I'm not sure what he said.
That's like some Michael Jordan-esque stuff where you see him go up to the ref. He's like, hey, Mike, did you get fouled? Yeah, I got fouled.
I think there might have been a Jedi mind trick involved for sure. But Virginia Tech's got some depth as well. You know, they've made 5 or 6 substitutions in this half, and they've basically changed out everyone on the front end of the field. So they're keeping their legs fresh, and they're going to keep running guys out there that are able to pressure Pitt and disrupt them.
Marcos Esco in there at number 10. They were looking for him on that ball. Just 2 points, the difference in the Coastal Division between these two squads. Pitt at the basement of it with 5. Tech in second position with 7 points. A tap on here and into the arms of Adams.
Sam Cowell almost got released in the box there, but his touch was just a bit too heavy. You see here Sullivan's able to thread the needle. Sam Cowell just can't quite control it enough to set himself up for the shot.
Looked like he might have been trying to redirect over to Thorson, who was on a run there.
That's possible too, so maybe he was caught in 2 minds of what to do.
But that's kind of the story so far. That's what's happened for Pitt once they've gotten into the box and seen a clean chance. They kind of have a second thought about it.
Correct, and I think that's evidence of a disrupted lineup. They don't have the chemistry that they would like, and I still don't think that Coach Vidovic knows what his best 11 is with this Pitt side.
It's such an interesting thing in college soccer with the little amount of time you have in the preseason. You kind of have to figure it out as you go, and the lineup that you have right now out there that you trust might not be the lineup that you trust in, on November 10th in the ACC tournament. You just don't know. Here comes Santiago Ferreira, and he's done a good job to try and earn some of the trust of Jay Vidovic in recent games as well.
Yeah, and he's going to play attacking center midfield, and I see he just pushed Feitosa out to the right wing. And so we'll see if that tactical change is able to provide any fruit for Pitt.
Just under 10 minutes remaining in the half. Wide for Thorson again and across the end line.
Yeah, it's not quite coming off for Pitt, not quite able to connect, not quite clean enough. Not quite incisive enough so far, but halftime's coming up. They'll have an opportunity to make some adjustments, but they need to get to halftime to be able to do that. And if they keep allowing Virginia Tech to have goal-scoring opportunities, don't be surprised if they get burnt again.
And this is the portion of the game, you know, where a goal can be a backbreaker for you, or it can get you back into the game and get you re-energized.
100%.
Solons with the challenge.
Smiley.
Keep it.
They call him Smiley.
Yes, they do. The man they call Smiley.
He's always smiling.
Because of his happy demeanor.
That's right. I need some of his positive energy in my life.
I agree these days.
Yep.
I could use some of that. Look at this ball loose for a moment. Howard struggled to try and find it.
He was struggling with the bounce a bit there.
It doesn't help when you have Sam Cow barreling toward you. Now Mirkovic looking for Thorson, and once again Cardona's there. Cardona's done a nice job against Thorson on that left side.
Yeah, Thorson, you know, he's more comfortable as a central forward position.
Lined in over the head of Sam Cow. Mayufo upset with himself right away. He couldn't put that on line.
Pitt certainly has been asking questions of Virginia Tech at the back, but not the right questions to this point. Mayufu with the cross, but it's a little bit deep and over Sam Cow's head. Looked like the defender slipped a little bit there, and so maybe there was an opportunity for Pitt, but it was like a half chance, not a whole chance.
It was Theo Drennan who was marking Sam Cow and then fell. He took the own goal basically off the face in the last 5 seconds of the match against Clemson.
Yeah, I really felt bad for him about that. I mean, the shot that was taken was heading to the corner flag, and within a split second it smashed him in the face and went in the back of the net. So really, really tough one.
You can't have much more misfortune than that.
No. I wonder if any of his teammates have had the guts to make fun of him about it yet. I'm thinking it's still too soon.
Yeah, I think it's too. That's a postseason thing.
You know it's coming.
Yeah. But then again, people are ruthless these days.
That's right.
It's probably the next morning.
Maybe they'll give him a goal of the season award when he's maybe if they can beat Pitt tonight, you know, there'll be a happier bus ride home. They can bring it up then. But that is some bad luck. That goal was some of the worst luck I've seen in quite some time on a football pitch. Pitt really needs to find their rhythm, find their game. Again, Tech just keeps disrupting them.
It's an immediate counter.
Yep.
Once again, Marcos Esco with it this time, and they've been able to retain possession most of the time too, David. It's not like, you know, they're not losing any of these runs. They're not turning it over on these long balls. They're able to catch up with it and make an opportunity out of it.
Yeah, they're legitimately dangerous in attack.
Collision in the box. Carter came up to grab it. He's going to have some words with Solons.
Uemana with the service into the box. Solons is just trying to go get it. Collision with the goalkeeper. He's smiling. No big deal. It was accident.
He likes it.
I don't think
he's always smiling.
Cabral Carter, not always smiling.
Solons, the Virginia transfer. 11 games with the Cavaliers last year. Had a big goal against number 5 Louisville earlier this year.
Kinua distributing out to the left there. Once again, 3 passes and they're attacking Pitt.
Yoshizawa. Back touch here to Ballack. It's just still mind-blowing to me, David. And I saw this as I was getting ready for this game, obviously, that, you know, Kinua, 60 career games, no goals. And tonight it just happens to happen for him.
Yeah, and it's really the only deep run he's made so far tonight, and so it was certainly well timed.
Just so interesting to think of such a mainstay of the program, so many games, so many minutes. Just never finds himself near the net. He just kind of facilitates.
That's the work of the unnoticed, you know. That's doing all the dirty work and not necessarily getting the glory, but tonight he got himself some glory. Drennan going through the back of Sam Cowell there. Free kick for Pitt. Sam Cowell works to establish his position. Drennan's already in midair.
John McCloskey, our official tonight.
Was there a card there, Kevin? Did you see?
I did not see one come out.
I didn't either. Feitosa looked like he almost got away with a little push there, but it does him no good. Virginia Tech wins possession again. So Pitt's got their hands full with the Hokies tonight. Virginia Tech got a nice game plan in place, been implementing it very well, been strong at the back, disrupted Pitt. Pitt's not been able to put together any really pure goal scoring chances. Their attack's been disjointed.
And once again, Virginia Tech scores in a game. So all 10 games this year with a goal. And you think about what they were last year. They had no wins in the ACC last year, 0-8-0. And they only scored 2 goals in conference play. So talk about the goal scoring problem. We even asked Coach Brizentine, you know, what was, you know, the way that you fixed that problem? And he said, well, there's a multitude of ways. We brought some new talent in, of course. We improved some of the guys that we have, and we're just capitalizing on more opportunities.
Yeah, great turnaround by Virginia Tech. Obviously, there's talent here. We talked before about the margins of winning and losing. So 0-8 in conference looks bad. But basically, a lot of that is due to not being able to put the ball in the back of the net. When you have people that can score goals, you know, they change games and they can get you results. And so obviously not having people that can score goals for you, that's going to be a big problem. And so, you know, just by getting in some goal scorers, some confident young players, people that aren't too intimidated by the stage. And obviously, yeah, a lot of it's coaching, technique, work. You know, most of the time you just got to work your way out of bad situations. There's no easy out.
With tonight's goal, that ties their season total from last year in about half the games.
Yeah, it's impressive.
You know, a lot of these schools are doing it with transfers, and you know, there's some of that here on this Virginia Tech squad, but it was really done with true freshmen. You know, the guys we talked about off the top of the show, Noe Uimana and Oliver Roche, those have been the spark plugs for them. That's hard to do, especially in the ACC.
Yeah, recruiting such a massive piece of the pie in terms of building your program. I think for Virginia Tech too, they were a bit of a victim of their own success, where they had some people drafted. Danny Pereira was one who was the #1 pick of Austin FC a couple years ago. Christo Strickler was another one that got drafted. Ben Martino, their goalie, got drafted. And so over the last few years, they've had players go pro.
Loose in the box, trying to volley it there was Ferreira. Couldn't size it up, get a clean hit off of it.
Yeah, almost looked a little bit surprised to have that much time to try and pull it off, but there's too much spin on the ball and he couldn't time it up.
He needed all of his 5'6" frame to try and square that one up. Final minute of the first half here. Mayola Kanyua put the Hokies up 1 with his first career goal. And David, you've been saying it for a while here, but Virginia Tech looking strong, looking assertive tonight. Pitt trying to find their way still, and you got to wonder what we'll see in the second half here on both sides.
Obviously, Pitt's got to get a bit more efficient in the opposition's half. maybe guilty of trying to create the perfect chance instead of just testing the goalie, getting balls on frame. A little bit too spread out. Virginia Tech's done a good job defensively and transitioning from the back to the front. They've been able to create and find a lot of space in Pitt's defensive half. And I think really they've outworked Pitt to this point in time.
Final seconds here. This ball goes wide left off the foot of Yoshizawa. So Mayola Kinyua, the guy that Herrera stays out there for Pitt as well. So Pitt without Felipe Mercado, who started the match. And Noah Hall does not start the second half either. Rafael Silly takes that right back position for the Panthers.
And I saw Feitosa started the second half as well, remaining in that right wing position. And so Torre will come off the bench. And I see Morania up top as forward for Pitt.
Yeah, a lot of changes here.
So definitely some different looks to try to find some answers for Pitt. Coach Vidovic was talking about how excited he was about having a week to prepare for this game and being able to get on the training ground. And so we'll see if they're able to display some of what they've worked on over the last week.
Cross in here, nobody home. Uemana stretches the boundary and plays it back again.
So obviously we talked about the importance of goals, and the next goal in this game is going to be absolutely massive. Is it Virginia Tech that's able to go up 2-0, or is it Pitt that's able to level things up? And so it's going to be cagey as this second half starts. Who's able to do what? And for Pitt, can they get back on level terms?
That first goal is so important this year, and just in general for Pitt. When they score first since 2019, they're 47-2-3. Now this season, when the opponent scores first, they're 0-2-1. So they haven't found that ability to fight back and not just equalize, but eventually come back and win a match. So they put themselves in a bit of a hole here.
And I know we've talked about it a few times in the past, but Pitt lost a lot of players from last year's squad. You know, they had a number of guys go pro, and so they've been finding answers all season long in terms of their depth, in terms of their recruits, in terms of their transfers.
Silly tries one and hits the side of the net.
Thought he might have won a corner there, but he did not. But it was good effort getting forward and creating a chance. He is certainly an attack-minded right back.
You saw the graphic a second ago as well. Pitt 8-3-3 in games following a match where they score one or fewer goals. Of course, that happened last week against North Carolina, getting shut out here, ending a 21-match score streak on their home field. But it's been 3 halves in a row here for Pitt without a goal, and that's something that's rare to see with this Panther squad. Hard foul here from Vesterholm.
Last week was a distinctly different game from this one. I thought that Carolina really set up to defend, whereas I think Virginia Tech has done a lot more to be proactive about getting forward and look to create chances of their own. And Pitt's patience and resolve will certainly be tested here tonight. It's tough to play a patient, possession-based game when you're losing 1-0 and your opponent doesn't care if you have the ball.
Once again, Cardona kind of having his way with Thorson tonight.
Yeah, it's been a tough matchup for Thorson, and Cardona's done really well defending him.
Vesterholm able to bring it out to midfield and get it to Uemana. Silly wins possession. Quick throw in here to Feitosa. And who will they call this on? Morania and Vesterholm.
Yeah, I mean, the foul's on Vesterholm. He doesn't really have his eyes on the ball and just runs into Morania.
Gets a card for it. Vesterholm, an Elon transfer into the program, played in the NCAA tournament with Elon last year. So multiple Pitt free kicks have come from around this position on the pitch.
Vesterholm from Denmark, one of a number of Scandinavians on this team. I think you can count Denmark as Scandinavia, if I'm not mistaken.
Mirkovic looking back post for Thorson, but not in a really dangerous position to score.
Yeah, again, Pitt doesn't really have the aerial threats that maybe they need for the service provided from Mirkovic. But as I mentioned, you know, they lost Valentin Noel and Bertrand Jacquesson to the MLS. And those two, Noel and Jacquesson, they were Pitt's first two players taken in the top 20 of the draft since Bill Freilich and Chris Dolman in the NFL draft in 1985.
Wow.
I really like that.
Look at you.
That little nugget.
You dug that up yourself. I know you did.
I can't take credit for it.
No credit?
No.
Oh, man.
Well, I do like Chris Dolman.
So that's what it is. Your affinity for Chris Dolman led you to that fact.
Yeah. Anytime I can get a Minnesota Vikings player reference in
Sure.
the broadcast, I want to go ahead and do so. And Bill Freilich, a Pittsburgher, so, you know.
Can't go wrong.
Nope. But I thought that was really interesting having, you know, I mean, that's how long it's been since you've had two players drafted in the top 20. And for Pitt, that was first time ever the soccer program had it done, but the football program had done it before.
Drennan gets rid of that ball. It's out on the baseball field. Pitt wanted a handball there.
Yeah, I feel like they're just trying to be so precise with their passing and create this perfect opportunity, and I just think this isn't the game that's going to work. I think that you might have to get a bit more, use a bit more blunt force, you know, and get some shots on target. Again, you haven't tested the goalkeeper yet, so that's the first thing I'm looking to do, is rip one on target and force the goalie to make a save. Second thing, get more bodies into the box. But I think knocking it about, it's been fairly easy for Virginia Tech to disrupt that, and they look happy to do so.
Tech hasn't beaten Pitt since 2018. Really turned their season around after starting 0-2-3. They've gone 3-1-0 since. And again, a major turnaround from last year. Winless in ACC play last year. 13 goals on the year, including Kenyua's tonight, which matches their season total from last year. This cross into the box right there, and that's Adams. It's the first time he's been really tested with somebody near him. That was Morania on the run into the 6-yard box.
And Thorson was able to skip past his man Cardona. You see this, Gilman provides the service. Thorson uses his chest, nice little shimmy turn. Gets inside of his man and gets the ball into the box, but can't find a target. But again, at least you've made the goalkeeper do something, and you've let him know that you're trying to score a goal, which Pitt struggled with that effectiveness so far tonight.
Nice tackle from Silly. Silly and Feitosa work to take possession. Now Mayufo looking up top. Morania in the center. Kanyua trying to counter, they'll call a foul.
You know, we talked about Virginia Tech playing a 5-3-2, and you think of it as maybe a different type of formation, but these wingbacks are able to get up so high, it really gives them a numbers advantage when they are attacking Pitt.
Quill, Uemana. Kanyua. Nobody over there for him. Just maintaining possession. What a move here to find some space. Looking in the center for Pugh. Kanyua making everything happen by himself right now.
Yeah, and a big stick by Gilman to cut that pass from coming across and finding Pugh, because he was champing at the bit to score a goal there.
Gilman got a big high five after the play there from Carter as well.
Kanyua does a good job of getting past Maiufu and delivers the ball into the middle, but Gilman's able to break it up. Looks like Virginia Tech should have had a corner off that play. I don't think they got one. See Sam Cowell's returned up front for Pitt.
It's Morania to the bench after starting the second half.
There, Pitt gets caught in possession. They're looking for the foul.
Quill, a long shot here wide right.
Well, I saw Carter off his line and looked to test it.
There's Sam Cow, he's re-entered.
Got a little bit of an extended break coming out of halftime, but he's a hard worker and he'll put himself about and he'll exhaust himself trying to find the equalizer for the Panthers.
Looking for him here. He has some space in front of him. Can he capitalize? No. He can't believe it, but what a save there from Adams.
Sam Cow kind of got it stuck under his foot a little bit, but he did end up getting the shot off and Adams was able to make the save. Sam Cow gets released in behind, gets the ball stuck under his foot, so he doesn't get a clean shot off.
It's off the shoulder of Adams. Man, inches away from a goal there.
Not the prettiest of chances, but Pitt will take it, and at least it's an opportunity created.
Mirkovic with the corner, looking for Thorson there. Settles with Maiufu.
The Hokies really good, putting pressure on the ball.
Tipped on the service. Ferreira winning a header. Mirkovic dancing with it at the top of the box. This is his favorite space.
He's trying to get it on his right foot to have a crank, but he can't get it there.
Thorson trying to get creative. And Virginia Tech, great job defensively through that entire run.
Yeah, they do a good job of getting numbers back. You could see there Mirkovic, when he had the ball, was trying to get it lined up on his right foot, but Virginia Tech did not allow him to do so, so then he sort of floated a crossover. I think they've tried to target Thorson a bit more in this second half. He has been an effective player for him this season, got some goals to his name, but hasn't scored in a few games.
3 goals for Thorson in his first collegiate season.
But he's another one like Roche that scored a few goals and then people started paying a bit more attention to him. But Thorson's a better centre forward than winger, and so he's not going to be as effective out there as he would be in the centre forward position. But that's Sam Cow's, and so they'll be looking for Sam Cow to lead that line in that manner.
Sullivan booting it forward.
Nicely weighted pass, keeps it in play.
Sam Cow can't make an individual move.
Yeah, he lost his feet, and now Virginia Tech are going the other way.
It's the same story. Pugh trying to chase it down. He's got it. There's Carter with a foot stop.
And Pitt's lucky that wasn't number 2 right there. It was a similar type of build-up to the goal that they scored. Pugh was in clean. Carter made the big stop, keep Pitt just 1 down.
Looking for Ferreira, too strong.
Look at that, immediately released. He's onside. Carter has to make a decision. He chooses to get back and get in position to make the save, and it's a good thing he did. Makes the kick save. Pugh not with a good enough shot to score, but that was an opportunity that he'll want back, because that was a golden opportunity for the Hokies to go up 2-0.
Pugh doesn't have a goal this year. Carter has made so many timely saves in the last couple weeks.
Yeah, Carter's been really big for the Panthers, been growing leaps and bounds with every appearance. He had 2 game-changing saves last weekend in the tie against North Carolina. Very composed back there. Obviously, he's got a lot of quality, but he continues to grow.
Misei Yoshizawa has come in. Now here's Pugh once more, and they call this one offside. Here's the Pugh chance on the last time.
I mean, he is released, he's in. Just doesn't get a great shot off and isn't able to find the target.
I mean, he was turning and running right away, which is what they've done all night. Here's Feitosa leaving it wide for Rafael Silly. Batted around. Uemana keeps it in play.
Silly did a good job with the burst and getting it into the box, but he wasn't able to find a white shirt. I think Pitt's a little bit too methodical sometimes in possession. It's easy to telegraph. You can see where they're going, and so from a defensive standpoint, there's not a lot that surprises you. A lot of the actions are predictable. Not enough movement off the ball.
Lefebvre trying to get creative with Thorson there.
Clearly trying to get it out to Thorson on the left-hand side. That's been one of the half-time adjustments, is try to work that matchup on the left-hand side a bit more. And so you've commented that Cardona's done a good job defending Thorson, but I think Pitt sees an opportunity from that left side. See, Sam Cow comes back and finds it, but it's just not strong enough to hold on to possession, and ends up giving away a free kick and giving the ball back to Virginia Tech. Well, I thought there was no target for Virginia Tech up there, but he got up there pretty quick.
There's Cardona.
Maybe blended in with the sideline a little bit there. I thought it was a ball to nowhere, and then he sort of popped up chasing after it.
So Pitt searching for answers here. A couple of decent looks here in this half, but nothing very clean tonight.
Well, again, credit to the opponent, credit to Virginia Tech for coming in here and being on the front foot and productive, showing initiative, and we'll see some more substitutions for Pitt. Souza comes on for Feitosa. Torre came back on the left side for Thorson.
Marcos Esco has come on, and Andy Solons as well, both guys that finished the first half on the pitch. Joao Souza had his first career brace against Denver a couple of games ago, so they'll look to get the Marshall transfer involved here on the right side. Lefebvre to Silly.
Yeah, I think Pitt's got to work on being a bit more explosive, a little bit more unpredictable.
This ball up top for Souza. Crossed it in. Headed just wide.
That was a nice effort. Sam Cowell getting on the end of it with his head, but just heading it a bit wider to goal. But the cross comes over almost immediately from Souza. Sam Cowell's able to get some separation from his defender, but he's not able to bring the header down or put it on target. But that is good intent from Pitt, and that's a good opportunity created.
So the subs making an impact right away. Now a takeaway, the center of the pitch for Mirkovic. Sam Cowell on a run with some green in front of him. Mayufo looking for Sam Cowell, flicked it on again. Just wide left this time.
Headed to the other side. Mayufu was able to pick him out.
Neither ball was in a great position for him to be able to get on top of it.
Yeah. Decent service. That's a little bit behind him. He's coming back for it and tries to turn and flick it into the goal. That's an extremely tough play to pull off. Might have needed to go with plan B at that time.
Nice job by Esco holding off Silly. Maintained possession.
There's the big diagonal ball.
Yoshizawa. Esco goes down in the box. Yoshizawa for service in the middle. And it was deflected by a Pitt defender. But Carter was on that near post. Dangerous ball.
Mayufu cleared it away from the back post.
Played back here to Carter.
Yoshizawa causing problems with that run.
Sullivan a nice move to keep possession. Now Pitt with a run and some numbers here. Torre loses it.
Got a bit tangled up there. It's already 20 minutes into second half. Pitt has created more good opportunities in this half, but also Virginia Tech has had their share of opportunities, and they've continued on their first half game plan. They've been absorbing pressure, they've been counter-attacking quickly, and they've been getting shots on target with their counter-attacks. And so they've caused Pitt problems, and Pitt, again, patient in the build, but a bit slow and predictable. And Tech's done a great job of disrupting them.
Esco. Line to the goal, and there's Carter again. That one on the ground.
Esco, the native of Costa Rica, was really excited in May when he and his Virginia Tech teammates got to take a tour of Costa Rica. You see there he gets the shot off, just not enough power, and Carter's able to save it. So we talked last week about UNC was able to go to Austria and Czech Republic. Virginia Tech got themselves down to Costa Rica in the summertime. Nice team building trip.
We know you love those.
I do. Been fortunate to go to a number of countries through soccer tours. I like going to games in different countries, that's for sure. See, it's just too intricate, you know. You're playing passes in a 5-yard space, but you're not getting anywhere from it. And so I think for Pitt, you have to have more result from your work. And I think they're really struggling to get into Virginia Tech's final third, the attacking third. And they're certainly struggling to be effective when they get there.
Good tackle there. Here comes Lefebvre. Out wide for Silly. Into the center. It's loose and cleared out once again. That's Drennan that made the initial tackle to stop the run and then cleared that ball out right away.
Yeah, it was a nice cross into a dangerous position, but there wasn't anyone there to convert the chance. Sealy does a great job first time ball over. It's just over the top of Mirkovic, and Sam Cal can't get there.
So David, the last couple of weeks, so we see Sam Cal go down here. The last couple of weeks, what would you credit more? Is it the more methodical play of Pitt, maybe moving too slow, maybe trying to be too perfect, or is it a credit to the defenses for not biting on any of these movements and staying home on all their marks?
Well, I think certainly there's a game plan for how to beat Pitt. And I think it is that you disrupt them, you put pressure on the ball, break up their possession game, soak up a fair amount of pressure, but strong lines at the back, good defensive organization and counter-attacking. And Virginia Tech's been able to do that tonight.
Sullins with the card on that play, so Pitt with a restart here right outside the box. Cleared out fairly easily.
Strong defensively. I see Drennan down there organizing the back line. And really that central three has really been very strong for Virginia Tech.
Just one shot on goal for the Panthers tonight.
Fenerides, Drennan, and Howard, their center backs, their three center backs, have been gobbling up pressure and eliminating chances. I think their midfielders, certainly Hensley and Vesterholm, have done a great job of challenging Pitt and not giving them time and space on the ball.
The heart of the Hokies, if you will.
Yeah. Obviously, Kanua has been excellent, doing what he does, holding central midfield.
So good thing for both these two teams tonight. Boston College up 1-0 over Virginia as that enters the last 15 minutes of that match. Syracuse up 1-0 over North Carolina as well. And on the Atlantic Division side, Wake over NC State 2-0. Clemson over Louisville right now 2-0. Mirkovic, a line shot right over the net.
Great opportunity by Mirkovic. That's a type of shot that we're used to seeing him do. That's what he was trying to line up that last possession when he was shifting from his left foot to his right foot. But you see there, he just lines up, puts his foot through it, generates such great power. I thought it was tipped over the crossbar, but no hand on that. So it's a goal kick for Virginia Tech.
Just not enough topspin on it. But man, Adams had to get out of his shoes and use every inch of that 6'7" frame to try and get a hand on it.
Mirkovic trying to push a bit higher up the field, and they'll be looking to get him opportunities like that again. For me, that's simple and effective. If you can get him some space on the top of the box and let him light it up, then go for it. Because obviously some of the other intricacies haven't been working to this point in time, so Pitt's going to have to keep probing and seeing how they can break down the Hokies at the back. Drennan's been good at the back. Isco doesn't like that call.
Here comes Tech on yet another counter attempt.
Yeah, and they just took it off Souza's foot. Panthers a little bit lazy in the possession where they're not able to move the ball quickly enough, and they have it taken off them.
Feitosa back in. Mirkovic wins possession.
And Thorson's back in as well.
Souza Back post for Torre, and he lets it go past him. That's Nick Laffey, I believe, getting rid of that ball. Laffey, a freshman.
Yeah, Pitt's changed up their look a bit. I see Feitosa's in the number 9 position now, center forward. Thorson more of an attacking center mid, playing just underneath him. Mirkovic is pushing a bit higher as well. And Souza's going to look to provide some service into the box potentially.
Left-footed shot from Mirkovic. Great job to deflect that on the back line. That was headed for the net.
And so to this point, Pitt's best way through looks to be Mirkovic's shots from the outside of the box. Nothing else has really been as effective.
Lefebvre tried to dial it up from deep.
I think maybe he was hoping that one smacked off someone's face and went into the goal.
Hey, you can take him any way you can get him, right?
That's right.
Clemson will tell you that. Now Oliver Roche comes in. Declan Quill as well.
For the Hokies, the larger-than-life turkeys. The Tech teams were once called the Gobblers. So thankfully they had a football coach who changed that. Otherwise we'd be calling them the Virginia Tech Gobblers tonight.
It kind of rolls off the tongue. Feitosa dancing with it. Now Mirkovic. Dangerous position, loses possession. Mirkovic battling here. He wanted a handball off that, I believe.
Or I think he just wanted the corner. I'm not really sure, but he's working hard. He's trying to really determine the impact, the outcome of this game. He's trying to directly influence it, trying to do everything he can to will his team to get that goal that they need.
And he doesn't have a goal yet this year, so he's hungry enough for himself in addition to the team.
Oh, that one always surprises me whenever I hear that. I'm surprised Mirkovic doesn't have a goal so far this season. And Feitosa also, no goal for him yet this year. He's been out a lot with injury, but they're 2 players for Pitt that if you'd have told me we were this far into the season and they hadn't scored, I'd have been surprised by that.
Feitosa was inches away from 2 goals last week against North Carolina. Here's Roche, stopped in the box. Virginia Tech will gobble up this ball.
Yeah, they're a little bit quicker and hungrier to everything.
Feneritis toward the net. That took a weird hop on Carter there at the end. Lucky to stop it.
Yeah, it was like a half bounce, but he was all over it. Carter's been really solid back there, really consistent. Goalkeeper, it's such a tough position to play. It's hard to find good ones.
He's got 7 saves tonight. That's offside.
So that's got to be a career high for Carter with saves, 7, I think. Really good, strong, consistent play. I mean, the goal wasn't his fault. Sort of hung out to dry by the back line, getting beat. But he's made some saves that's kept it close.
I can confirm that it is a career high for Cabral Carter. 7 saves.
Good defending there by Gilman to hold off Declan Quill. Now under 15 minutes for Pitt to get something going.
Left forward for Silly. Crossed in. That one toward the net. Just wide.
Oh, that was a great save by Adams. That was a really nice chance by Feitosa. That was almost like a no-look shot. But Adams was able to read it and make the save. This is really nice. So Pitt's able to get forward quickly. Silly's able to get the ball in quickly. And here you see Feitosa. No, that's a no-look shot. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's really impressive because the ball's a bit behind him, but he goes back and gets it. And credit to Adams, who's able to make the save and parry it wide.
Yeah, just got his fingertips on it. Honestly, it glanced so easily that I thought it was wide of the net at first. This one toward the net into the back.
Jackson Gilman with a powerful header. Levels up this game. That's a huge goal for Pitt, and Adams is finally beaten.
Unbelievable goal for Pitt.
That's a thumping header by Gilman. That's a type of goal a captain scores when the team is struggling. And I think that's probably going to be an assist for Mirkovic.
He's off the corner.
Let's have a look. Yeah, that's a great header by Gilman. He gets up and beats Howard. That is just massive for this team. Powerful header. And the calmness with which he's able to put it home. Nothing Adams can do about it. Pitt back on level terms. Now buckle in for the last 13 minutes of this one, because the momentum is with Pitt. They've been playing better the last 15 minutes or so. You see Mirkovic there, the new career assist record holder at Pitt. And he is pumped up, and he is a major reason why Pitt's been able to get back on level terms in this game. He has willed this team back to parity.
Second goal of the year, second career goal for Gilman. What a huge moment for the captain there on the back end of a history-making assist for Filip Mirkovic, who basically has willed this team into a 1-1 tie.
Yeah, Mirkovic been a massive difference maker, and now it's everything to play for. Honors even at this moment. Virginia Tech, do they have an answer to get number 2? Claim the 3 points.
Uimana. You see what a goal can do for you too, David. The life that
Sure.
came out of Jay Vidovic there, and this entire place just gets a new shot of energy as everything was kind of settled down and the fans were falling asleep there for a bit.
Well, I mean, it's the experience of your players. They've kept working at it. This has been a really difficult game for Pitt. Virginia Tech has made it extremely difficult for them. But Pitt has responded. We'll see if they're able to respond again. We'll see if Virginia Tech is able to overcome the adversity presented by this situation.
Again, only 2 points separating these two teams between positions 2 and 6 in the Coastal Division. Virginia has knotted it up at 1 with Boston College. So Virginia's sandwiched between these two teams in the standings. Syracuse still up 1-0 on North Carolina. So you want a result. Back to the goal for Pitt. Just squeezing it into that near post.
Oh, that's a thumping header. Gilman getting it done.
What do you think that conversation's like right there?
I think it's an excellent conversation. Probably some thanks, some thanks being offered. Some recognition of the fact it just helped his teammates set the all-time program record for assists. So credit to Mirkovic for imposing his will on this game. Credit to Gilman, the captain, for getting his team on the score sheet.
See the year by year for Mirkovic here. 12 assists last season. And it's kind of easy when you have Valentin Noel and Bertrand Jacquesson running around to serve it to. But this year is no different. You see 8 assists now.
Yeah, he gets some recognition from his coach there. 12 minutes left in this one. We'll see if either team has a winner in them. I think it would be cruel for Virginia Tech to lose. Haven't played so well, haven't had such a good game plan, but you got to play 90 minutes. 75 isn't going to get it done. Can Mayola Kinua come up with anything else to impose his will to help his team get the win?
The two captains with goals in this match. No overtime anymore in a regular season in college soccer, so again, that's the part of the impact too, is, you know, these games ending in draws. That's why you see point totals being so low through this point in the year.
I miss overtime.
I do too.
I liked me some overtime.
Yeah.
Get a nice golden goal, a nice walk-off winner.
You understand why they did it, but
yeah,
it takes some of the joy out of some regular season soccer where so many games these days are ending in draws.
Yep.
Into the box, there's Carter again. They were looking for Roche on the back end of that service.
Dangerous opportunity created by Virginia Tech from the free kick there.
Just over 10 minutes to go at Ambrose Urbanic Field. Coastal Division clash tonight. Just equalized moments ago by Jackson Gilman. Mayola Kinyua, the goal for Virginia Tech in the first half, first career for him. Tapped in, looking for Torre there. It was Sam Cow. Here's Roche released up top. They're trying to find him.
Pitt was buzzing around in the box there, looking to get on top.
Mirkovic again. Feitosa taken down outside the box. Possession won by Torre. Now Silly lines it up and gets it past Adams. Raphael Silly puts the Panthers up top.
And the Panthers have a 2-1 lead. Adams couldn't keep it out, and Silly, coming on as a replacement for Noah Hall, who got hurt, has just scored a massive goal for the Panthers to put them up 2-1 and potentially secure all 3 points in this crucial ACC Coastal Division matchup. The ball kept bouncing around the box. It fell to Silly. He knows what to do with it, puts it on target. The shot is too strong for Adams, can't get his hands behind it, and it's in the back of the net. All came about from a broken play. And that's why you want to test the goalkeeper, see what he can do, put shots on frame. And with that one, Silly's able to force the ball into the back of the net, and Pitt has turned this game on its head.
A new French connection, Torre to Silly. First career goal for Raphael Silly as well. And Silly, man, talk about him coming back after the red card, 2-game suspension. Finds his way back onto the pitch just because of the Noah Hall injury. Capitalizes on it.
I'm guessing he's starting the next game.
You would think. Sometimes goals earn you a starting position.
He's helped the Panthers improve since he came on. There's definitely been a bit more resolve about them. They just seem determined not to get beat here tonight.
And it all kind of turned on. And you said it earlier, David, hey, you know, Pitt's being methodical. You know, they're trying to work through this and find the perfect goal. But you said a little earlier, it's not going to be that type of night.
Sure.
You're going to have to find a goal on a broken play, and that's exactly what they did.
Yep. And Mirkovic, I think, changed the game just by putting shots on goal, playing more forward.
I'll use your phrase. Mirkovic turned the screws a little bit.
He did. He absolutely did.
Just about 3 minutes between the 2 goals.
Now, if you're Virginia Tech, do you have an answer? Heartbreaking loss last week. This is turning into a heartbreaking loss potentially. If they're not able to find a goal, this is going to be another tough loss for Virginia Tech. They played extremely well here tonight, had an excellent game plan, but the Panthers just kept working at it, And they've had 2 goals from 2 defenders to put them on top.
I'd love to see the possession numbers from the second half, because it's been difficult on Virginia Tech in the second half, I think. They've spent a lot more time kind of sunk in with that 1-goal lead. And when you do that, sometimes, you know, one play like that, a ball just squeaks out. It's difficult. But it's kind of flipped on its head here. Pitt with only 5 shots in the first half compared to the Hokies' 8. In the second half here, only 5 for Virginia Tech and 10 for the Panthers. So testing that Hokie backline a little bit more.
Definitely impressed with Pitt's resolve to be able to come out and dig in to get themselves back on top, because they were being disrupted, they were being countered, and Virginia Tech was on top of them.
Evan McIntyre now comes in for Torre. Torre was banged up after that last run there. Gets the assist on the Silly goal. Turned over, now here comes Silly with a head of steam again. Looking centered for Sam Cow. It's at his foot. This one goes wide right.
What a gorgeous pass from Silly. Put it on Sam Cowell's foot in the middle of the 18-yard box. That was gorgeous.
Once again, what a goal can do for you. Sure. Put that life into you.
Well, and also, look at this ball. What a touch. That's beautiful. Sam Cowell can't quite bring it in. He goes for the first-time shot, and it's not on target. But that was a beautiful cross by Silly. Yeah, I think also, too, it's all the momentum. It's not all just positive momentum on the part of Pitt. You have the negative momentum affecting Virginia Tech. Well, now, you know, they're 1-0 up for 75 minutes. You concede the goal to tie it up, and now you're down a bit. Your heads are down a bit. You're thinking different things. How are we going to hold on? How are we going to score a goal? And before you know it, now you're down 2-1. And so the momentum shifts are just dangerous things, and you see how it's negatively impacted Virginia Tech. The first goal weighed on them, and that really opened them up for the second one.
And you wonder, with the way that they lost last week, you know, do they have the mental resolve here to create a chance to try and equalize again?
Sure.
Tech had given up just 8 goals in the last 7 games, including the 2 last week to Clemson, and now they give up 2 in a matter of about 3 minutes to Pitt. Tech has lost 6 straight to the Panthers, haven't beaten Pitt since 2018, and it really is a pivotal matchup tonight. And what's at stake in the standings in the Coastal Division?
Yeah.
Dorson comes up gimpy there.
I mean, you'd ask Coach Vidovich if this was a must-win game, and he had skirted it a little bit, talking about how all the ACC games are must-win games. But I think for Pitt, who were picked to win the Coastal, that they were sitting in last position in the Coastal after 4 ACC games. And so, yeah, absolutely this is a must-win game for Pitt. And I think just that swing of momentum to move from being in the last position to they'll jump up above Virginia Tech if this result holds, that's absolutely massive.
Notre Dame plays tomorrow against Duke. They host the Blue Devils.
That's going to be a great matchup too. Notre Dame Duke tomorrow. Mark that one on the calendar.
And it looks like Virginia will be getting a point with a draw against Boston College on the road. Syracuse and North Carolina in about the 70th minute. Syracuse still up 1-0. It's just amazing. In the matter of one night, the standings could look drastically different than they did when we started the evening.
Yeah, and that's why you can't look at the standings too much, but obviously you're aware of them. And I always used to say every team that you beat, you're going to finish above.
Silly, leaving it open. Back in the center, Feitosa!
What a beautiful goal. Back heel flick by Feitosa.
Is it a no-look shot once again?
Absolutely.
Pitt pouring it on here late. 3-1 now for the Panthers. What a surge of offense in the last 8 minutes.
Incredible run of play by Pitt. They've turned it on its head. Sheer will. Is Silly again making an impact, provides a service across the box. Eben McIntyre plays it back in. And look at Feitosa. He gives up on the cross from Silly and just turns, little left foot back heel flick into the back of the net.
Wow.
That's class right there. That is absolute class. Beautiful goal. Really impressive work by Pitt to claw their way back into this when the momentum was against them.
First goal of the year for Guilherme Feitosa. First career goal for Rafael Silly. What a beautiful goal for Feitosa.
That's a happy face right there. Really impressive run of play by the Panthers. Virginia Tech, a great 75 minutes, but they haven't been able to see out this result. And Pitt, through sheer will, determination, application. They've just kept working at it.
How about Feitosa, David? His first goal in over a year.
Wow.
September 5th of last season was the last time he scored. And considering the freshman season that he had, last year played banged up for a lot of the year. This year he's had a similar type of story, but he came on last week and was the spark plug in the North Carolina match, even though he hit the post twice. And tonight he puts the nail in the coffin of the Hokies.
Yeah, he's a great player. He's a difference maker, and as I said earlier, Pitt had missed him, and that's the type of stuff you see that he's able to do. But that's not something you can teach. I mean, even as the silly cross is coming off, he recognizes, I can't get to this. I'm going to leave it for McIntyre and see if I can get the seconds. And boy, did he get the seconds. McIntyre just fed it into his feet, and Feitosa was able to whip up some magic and turn the ball into the back of the net. Now it's just like two different teams out there. Pitt playing with all the vigor, all the momentum, getting forward. Virginia Tech not able to disrupt them at all.
Yeah, it just felt like that first goal just sucked the life out of the Hokies. And how could you blame them, really, with how they lost last week? You play so hard for 75 minutes. You have everything kind of working in your favor. You're able to keep Pitt off balance, and then all of a sudden you give one up, and your spirit just breaks.
Yeah.
Pitt had gone about 166 minutes without a goal, searching for answers, hitting posts left and right last week, and then out of nowhere there's an outburst. And like we said, one goal sometimes will just open up the floodgates.
Yeah, it's a great team effort. I mean, they kept working at it. They needed all their depth. Goal scoring from defenders. But more than anything, I just think the will of Filip Mirkovic, I think, changed the game.
Filip Mirkovic breaking a program record tonight. 27 career assists. He's top 5 in the country this year with 8 on the season.
Nice job by Sam Cow holding off the defender there, maintaining possession.
Thorson. Pitt with a corner coming here with a couple of minutes to play. Man, did the Panthers desperately need a win. Tough break at Syracuse. Here's what they got coming up at Virginia next Friday. Midweek against Duquesne, and then Duke and Notre Dame.
Everything to play for this season, but there's some juicy coastal matchups coming Pitt's way.
Yeah, it's the coastal portion of the season for sure. I mean, tonight, huge being able to capitalize on an opportunity to get 3 points. They'll do that. They'll jump up to second in the standings in the coastal just with this win.
Absolutely massive turn of events the last 15 minutes. Season changing. I mean, when you think about where you end up in the coastal division in the ACC, it all goes into your seeding for the ACC tournament, and so jumping 4 places in your division makes a massive impact in terms of who you might end up playing in the ACC tournament. Obviously, wins are what get you in the NCAA tournament.
But it matters for conference seeding as well, even if Notre Dame wins tomorrow and they kind of put themselves in a position to control their own destiny for the Coastal Division to get a top 2 seed. Every point does matter.
Yep.
You got to string together a couple wins here to end the season. Both these teams do, to try and put themselves in a good position for good seeding come postseason. These two teams, too, 2 of the top 5 schedules played to this point, too. So well tested so far. And that's part of the reason why the point totals are where they are. I mean, they're playing tough matches, whether it's non-conference or in season. Pitt with the toughest, Virginia Tech with the 4th toughest in the country to this point in the year. Tech with a little bit of an easier schedule than Pitt has for the rest of the way.
Yeah, I think Pitt's already played 5 ranked teams. I think they're 2-2-1 against ranked teams. So they definitely test themselves against the best teams in the country. You got to beat the best to be the best.
What an explosion of offense in the second half for the Panthers, really in the last 15 minutes of the match.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
A 3-1 victory for the Pitt Panthers, their 7th straight against the Virginia Tech Hokies. Guilherme Feitosa with the backbreaker, the no-look third goal. Rafael Silly broke the tie, and of course, Philip Mir